Hi guys, John McClellan here, ATX Hot Sauce, atxhotsauce.com. Check out and subscribe below. One of the comments we get a lot on all of our videos is, what is your equipment? Where do you get your equipment? Tell us about it. Well, today I'm here to tell you about the equipment that we use here in the ATX Hot Sauce Prep Kitchen. All right, what's the first thing you do when you're making hot sauce? Well, you cut the fruit, you cut the peppers, you cut the vegetables up, and you put them in a bucket, right? Well, we used to use just a knife and a cutting board. And let me tell you, it takes a lot of time to do all that. Cut the stems off, cut the peppers up, make them in the right sizes until we got this new machine. Now, I'm not saying to go out and buy this machine because it's not very cheap, but it actually works for us very, very well. It's this little machine right here, and it weighs a ton. What happens is we put the peppers right down in here. It chops them up, spits them out here. This thing has saved hours and hours of time for us. I'll put a link to the description below. What's next? Well, you got to have somewhere to put it, right? So we like to use these 6-gallon buckets. They have a lid on them with a bubbler, right, or airlock right here, and a press plate. I'm going to talk about this here in just a second. We also use 1-gallon jars if you want to do an experiment, and make sure you write down all the ingredients if you're doing an experiment. But we use most of the buckets. If I look around this kitchen here, I probably see about 40 or 50 fermentations going right now. What we do is we load up the bucket with all the fruits, vegetables, anything you want in your recipe, right? We do a 3.5% brine. And what you do with that is you take another one of these buckets. As you can see, this is 20 liters, 15 liters. At 525 grams of salt, it goes in for 15 liters. So if you have 15 liters of water in here, it's 525 grams of salt. Make sure that's mixed well. Pour it on there on top of the vegetables, right? Then you get this nifty, it's called a press plate. Don't forget, I'm going to put all the descriptions and links below. This press plate's pretty neat. You can adjust it up or down. And let's say the vegetables are right here. You're going to push this here. It's going to hold the vegetables down, right? You might want to adjust it a little bit. Adjust it just a little bit, maybe not so much. Then like right there, then you're going to get your lid, and you're going to place it on top. And what that does is the lid presses down on this aspect and pushes all the vegetables and fruits under the brine. That way you can have a safe fermentation. So we do that, put that in there, top this off, close that bucket up. Got a little bubbler right here, and we put it on there. Put a little vodka in here just to seal it off, and then put it away. Make sure you label it too. It's really important to use all the good equipment for your fermentation. Make sure you're using Star Stand. You're keeping everything as clean as possible when you're doing this process. Next, I'm going to talk about the processing of a fermentation and turning it into a sauce. All right, now we got the fermentations finished. You should let your fermentation go for at least 3 weeks. I recommend 60 days, maybe even a little bit longer, whatever your preference may be for the different types of flavor profiles that you want. Once you get that fermentation done, you take that lid off. The first thing you want to do, this is very important, you want to check the pH of that. And how do you check a pH, or how do you check the acidity? Is you get one of these. I'll link the description below. Make sure when you have one of these pH meters that you're storing it with water or a holding solution on the bottom. The last thing you want is for this to dry out. If this dries out, this is dead. So keep it moist at all times and keep it clean. What you do is turn it on, stick it in. If you're in the 3s, you're good to go. All right, what happens after that? Got a good fermentation. We add whatever other ingredients we want to add, maybe a little bit of vinegar, maybe a little bit of sugar, whatever it may be, and then it's ready to be blended. We have a 2-step process when it comes to the blending. First one we have is an immersion blender. What we do is we stick this inside and we blend up all the ingredients until like a real wet mash is inside of there, right? Very, very wet mash, and this thing does a really good job. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes for each batch to get it done. It works out just fantastic. Once you have that in there, like I said, we have a 2-step process. The next step is you got to blend it. Well, and you got to pasteurize it too. So what we found that works best, that does both, is a Vitamix blender. We can blend and pasteurize at the same time. It takes about 12 to 13 minutes. You set this on high. It blends it, everything in there, pulverizes everything. You don't have to strain it, do anything like that. It gives a perfect consistency, and it heats it up too. So we heat it up to about 165, 170, which is that pasteurization, right? That's what you want. You don't want one of those bottles blowing up in your cabinet, in your face, or when you open the bottle up. That's a really bad thing. A hot sauce bomb is not good. So use the Vitamix blender, get that thing pasteurized. You want to get it to that 165, 170 mark. Takes about 12 about 10 to 12 minutes to get that to go. Now, once you've done blending it, you got to bottle it, right? So we used to use the old funnel method. Tell you what, that takes forever. One of these is absolutely, this is a filling machine. They're inexpensive. You can find them on Amazon. I'll link the description below. They do wear out after about 6 months of heavy use, but they're very, like I said, they're less than a couple of $100 each. And what this does is that you put everything in this hopper right here, all the sauce, and just go up and down and fill up your bottle, set it aside, and you go. And you can do about a bottle every 3 to 5 seconds when you got this down. So this is a really great thing to have. It really saves a lot of time. Once we use this, and we're going to go on to the labeling machine. Let's talk about our labeling machine. All right, once you got all your bottles filled, what's the next step? Obviously, you cap them, put your orifices on them, but then you got to label them. I found that labeling by hand can take forever. You need a lot of people to do it. It's not very efficient. Go online. I'll link the description below, just like on the other things. Get a labeling machine. It's really, really easy. You put your labels right here, feed it through, put your bottle right here, and you just twist, and it puts the label on there, and you go on to the next one. You can do a label about every 2 to 3 seconds with one of these machines. It's real easy to use. The hardest part is threading everything through it and getting the label right there. What's next? Well, next we got to put on. All right, what's the next step? Well, we got to put some foil on there, right? Get these from Amazon. I'll link the description below, as I've said before. They come in these neat stacks right here. Just take one off, put it on. Then you're going to use a heat gun, just real quick with it, and then you got your hot sauce. Well, guys, that's the equipment that we use here at ATX Hot Sauce. If you have any questions about it, please comment below. Hit the like button, hit the thank you button, whatever it may be. Check out our other videos online. We have a passion for hot sauce here, and I know if you're watching this, you have a hot sauce passion too. So check out the new videos that we're going to be coming online, different experiments, different things that we have in the hopper. Guys, thanks a lot for ATX Hot Sauce and the whole crew. We'll see you next time.